Okay, so this is the year-end meeting of the minds. Yeah. And as I've done all year for every Wednesday night, I hope this is not something we have to concentrate on this evening, but please, cell phones away and laptops closed. If nothing else, to allow your peers to really give a sense of how hard they've worked for this. We've been doing this now for decades, and initially they tried it with the faculty a long time ago, but it was pretty much death on toast. And so someone had the bright idea of actually letting the students do it. So our goal tonight is two things. First of all, it is to be in some ways a year-end review of some of the major thinkers that we've done around the question, how ought I to live my life? And the second thing is we've also tried to make it entertaining so that it doesn't seem to kind of drag on forever. So give them the attention that they deserve. They've worked hard over the last several months to do this. And the faculty members who have donated the students to us, I thank them for their generosity. And on that note, I want to introduce tonight's MC, Mr. Gordon Callender.
How's everyone doing? Despite what you may all think, that wasn't totally random. Just as Justin Bieber says he needs someone to love, we have an individual who is, in need of some tender love and care. So we have a special show for you all tonight. It's called The Bachelor, philosopher version. Our bachelor is the most influential philosopher to have ever lived. He's the granddaddy of them all. Please welcome Socrates. Evening, Socrates.
Thank you for having me.
I must ask, what are you looking for in your match?
Tonight, I think I'm going to look for a life of excellence.
Interesting. Well, we have 8 amazing people who feel that they can be the person to fulfill your need for the life of excellence. So, I would like you to take a seat right there, and I'm going to introduce them all. Our first bachelor is the man who spent his whole life studying the pursuit of happiness. For all you Will Smith fans, sorry, we couldn't afford him, but we have someone better. Welcome, Aristotle. If our next bachelor is gonna tell it all, then he gotta tell it all. Damn near cried when he got that phone call. He's so thrilled, he does not know what to do but to give us part 2 of his confessions. Welcome, St. Augustine. Our next bachelor put up to the house about 7 or 8. He yelled to the cabin, yo, Holmes, I'll smell you later. He looked at his kingdom, he was finally there to sit on his throne as the Prince of Bel-Air, Machiavelli. Everyone here should know our next thinker. He set the foundation for this lovely university called Boston College. He came all the way from heaven to speak with us. Please welcome the man responsible for making our parents invest 50 grand a year, St. Ignatius.
It was the wicked and wild wind, blew down the doors to let me in, shattered windows in the
Next up, we have the man who feels that God is the ultimate being. His methods may be a tad bit radical, but if you were to ask him, he'd say he were just being rational, whatever that may mean. Please welcome everyone's favorite radical Christian, Rene Descartes. I see Descartes has quite a cheering section. Our next bachelor is one of the suavest Frenchmen out there. All the ladies love his smooth, intellectual, mathematic pickup lines. He even wrote his own wager. Please give a round of applause for Blaise Pascal.
But that was when I ruled the world.
Hey Socrates, if you're looking for dependability, I have the right guy for you. He has never stepped foot outside of his house until now. He came all the way to Chestnut Hill, Massachusetts to impress you. Please welcome Immanuel Kant. China owes our final bachelor big time. He helped them become one of the largest banks in the world, surpassing even the United States. Damn you, Karl Marx. Well, now that I've introduced our 8 amazing philosophers, it's time for them to impress you, Socrates, with their wisdom and availability. First up, we have Aristotle.
The life of excellence, something I know well. But must I really explain it to you ignorant college students? If I must. But first, introductions. Do you know who I am? Well, you should. I'm Aristotle, student to Socrates' own prodigy Plato, and the oldest, most experienced philosopher here. Now, with age comes intelligence and understanding, which is why I find myself here, lecturing you mindless youth. While observing Boston College, I've noticed you've overlooked why it is you do what you do. So I'll explain it to you, and I'll use small words. Every action we have has a purpose or an end. Now, when you spend time with your friends or study, it could be to have fun or to get good grades, but those things, fun, good grades, you want them for a greater reason, a greater human good. And Socrates, I think you would agree with me on the existence of a perfect good. I believe that perfect good is happiness. Happiness, it's simple, but think, it exists for no greater reason. And I don't mean that feeling you ingrates brush shoulders with on a daily basis. I mean, when you are old, you look back and you've lived a happy life. Now, you can't go around being selfish to be happy. You must have virtue. All actions of ours exist on a sort of spectrum. Over here, we have deficiency, such as miserliness or ungenerousness. On the other side, we have excess, such as overindulgence in drink or pleasures, instead of being temperate. But here, in the middle, the mean between vices, these are the good actions. To possess a virtue is to have a state of mind so that you always act in the perfect good. Now, a virtuous man is a social animal. Humans are social animals. So how should you, animals, treat your friends? Well, there are 3 kinds of friendship. First, the friendship of utility. You know, those friends who do you favors, they give you things, but let's be honest, that's not a real friendship. Nor are those friendships of pleasure. Friendships of pleasure are based on fleeting emotions, and they don't last very long. But true friendship is when you admire someone for their virtues, not what you get from them. Being a true friend, having virtues, these things will lead you to a life of excellence, which is something even you half-wits must aspire to. That is my idea of the life of excellence, and that is why you, Socrates, should choose me. Thank you.
Thank you, Aristotle. Next up, we will have Saint Augustine.
I believe that the good life only comes when one fully accepts God as the creator, capital H-I-M. The true and greatest joy is only found in God. The only thing to be enjoyed or loved for its own sake is what is unchangeable and eternal, namely God. And to love anything else for its own sake is to confuse the creation with the creator. In other words, we must recognize that when we love something, we love God, for God is the creator. But when we put our deepest affections on anything God has made, as if it were God, we will not find the fulfillment we crave, no matter how good or noble or innocent, because these things were not intended to deliver ultimate happiness. They were given as signs that are supposed to lead us to God. Just pray, it'll be okay. All good things are from God, and from God is all my health. Cast yourself upon him, and be not afraid. He will not draw away and let you fall. Cast yourselves without fear, little monsters. He will receive you, and he will heal you. God makes no mistakes. I'm on the right track. Baby, I was born to pray. Confessing my sins, I stole a pair. I need to confess. My whole life is full of madness. I need you, God. God, 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 I need you, God. You are creator, all good comes from you. Without you, I just wouldn't know what to do. Praying to God. God, 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 praying to God. I have faith in my God. I pray to my God. Confess my sins, yeah. I need you, God. I'm confessing my sins. I was a sexual deviant. I need you, God. I'm confessing my sins. I was a sexual deviant. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. Confessing all my sins. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. Confessing all my sins.
Give a round of applause for our stage hands. Next up, we'll have the Prince of Bel-Air, Machiavelli.
Sorry if I look a little tired tonight, but I have to tell you about my night last night. So winning. So last night I get over to my bro Lorenzo de Medici's house. Real gnarls Gnarlington. Really knows how to win. So I get to his house, and we're chilling, and we're talking, and he's like, hey, bro, Machiavelli, can you stay for a party tonight? And I'm like, no surprise there. Because to be perfectly honest, Aristotle, Augustine, I make them all look like droopy-eyed, armless children. So I stayed for the party, and it was gnarly, of course. I mean, we're banging back 7-gram rocks. We're chilling with the Medici women. We're playing a little disc. Da Vinci even shows up. I iced him so bad, winning. Then I destroyed him at flip. No surprise there, I'm just dirty at flip. Then I start telling my classic story of how Caesar Borgia butchered an ambassador and laid his body in the street. Hilarious story. Everyone laughs. But eventually, after we're done drinking, Lorenzo turns to me and goes, "Hey, bro, Machiavelli, can you teach me to be the most gnarly, aka most excellent ruler in history?" I'm like, "Of course, bro. Here's what you gotta do. First things first, you gotta learn to control your appearances. Some people think you should be virtuous or truthful as a ruler. But I'm like, nah, being truthful is for toothless trolls. You just gotta create your own truth so you can please your citizens. Say your citizens want you to be a devout Catholic. Ugh. Well then fine. You just gotta go to church and pray daily. Make sure everyone thinks you use a regular St. Augustine. Meanwhile, when they turn their backs, bam, you can do whatever you want. You can be eating meat on Fridays, coveting your neighbor's wife, then stealing your neighbor's wife and killing your neighbor, winning. You can even worship a 7-headed fish or whatever. It doesn't matter. Say your citizens want you to be a kind and generous ruler, and then fine. You go around kissing babies, giving sandwiches to homeless guys, and hugging everyone. Meanwhile, when they turn their backs, you're actually stealing babies, you're kicking homeless people, and you're definitely not touching your loser troll citizens because they might infect you with their losing. The biggest thing to remember is that you can do whatever you want as long as you can appease your citizens. In this way, you create your own truth. And your truth must be like a violent tornado, constantly destroying the minds of your citizens. Last thing you have to remember is that once you learn to control your appearances, you have to learn to master vice and virtue. And by this, I mean just vice. Virtue doesn't matter for a ruler because you can do whatever you want in order to stay in power. And that's probably not picking flowers. Vice is the most important thing for a ruler because you need to make your citizens feel the wrath of the warlock. Say someone's hating on you. You need to make them disappear or have an accident. Either way, you need to make sure that your citizens know that you're in it to win it. And if they mess with you, then your wrath is going to be like a crazy dinosaur stampede on Middle Earth. Last thing to remember, oh, sorry, that's the 7 gram rocks. But remember, you can't go around crushing skulls and winning every second of every day. That's just too much winning. Sometimes you have to be nice to your citizens. You have to know when to crush, but also when to caress. Say someone's having a bad day. His shop got broken into during one of your gnarly warlock ragers. You have to be like, "Oh, I'm sorry, bro. Not everyone can win all the time. You'll get them next time, Tiger." And that way, no one will ever hate you, and you can just keep on winning. Socrates, you know who your boy is. Machiavelli, out.
Well, that was definitely interesting. Next up, we'll have the man himself, St. Ignatius.
The life of excellence to the Jesuits consists of a personal relationship with God. So me and Francis Xavier are going to teach you all a dance. Some of y'all know it, some of y'all don't. It goes God, 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 God. So we're going to be true with ourselves and find God in everything. So we're going to teach you some spiritual exercises to remember. It goes God, heart, faith, prayer. 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 Let's do the fork in the garbage disposal. Let's do the fork in the garbage disposal. Ding 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 ding. Stop! I lost my Bible. Found it. Uh-oh. Look at Francis Xavier. There's a residence hall named after him. Look at him pursue excellence, appreciating everything great and small. He's developing his personal potential, getting in touch with God. Uh-oh. Slow down, Francis. Xavier, slow down. He's done this before. He'll set the world aflame, spiritually. Slow down, Xavier. I blame this on the clergy and their corrupt ways. We had to reform the church from within, so he can lead us on our journey. Slow down, Xavier. No! Xavier, slow down! Xavier just exhausted himself. I have to discern my whole life, finding God in everything. All my philosophers, Come on, all my male philosophers. We're gonna spiritually exercise Xavier back. Are you guys ready? Are you guys ready? Do you guys believe in the Jesuit ideal? Commitment to service, men and women for others? How about the cura personalis, or having a personal relationship with God? You know what? We're gonna use that, and we're gonna bring Xavier back. He's not dead, he's sleeping. Dance! Oh, don't stop, Xavier. Come on, Xavier. Oh, don't stop. Oh my God, Xavier. I'm so glad you're back. I hope you learn from your experience and reflect on your life. And while we're here, I have something for you. It's my autobiography. You should read it. Oh, he's reading my autobiography. He's finding God in all things. He's experiencing God's love. He's spiritually exercising. Oh, look, he just finished his first week, on to his second week, now on to his third. Oh, he's starting to discern Jesus in his life. It's all about self-reflection. He needs to think about what his actual prayers mean. Oh, look, looks like he's got it. He's on his way to a life of excellence. Look at him ignite the lights. That's called excellence.
Thank you, stagehands. Thank you. Appreciate it. So, what do you think so far, Socrates? We have some really intellectual bachelors, don't you think? Well, next up we have Descartes.
To lead a life of excellence, you first need to doubt all that you know. You must conquer yourself rather than the outside world, a world that may not even be real.
There's one thing you should know about me. I specialize in a very specific type of security. Subconscious security.
You're talking about dreams?
We create the world of the dream. We bring the subject into that dream, and they fill it with their secrets.
Then you break in and steal.
Well, it's not strictly speaking legal. It's called Inception. Dreams feel real while we're in them. It's only when we wake up that we realize something is actually strange.
This was your responsibility. You're not prepared for this.
The dream's collapsing.
Have it under control.
In order to lead a life of excellence, you must choose the best occupation in life. The most fulfilling occupation I can find is working in the design of dreams. I work as the architect, building dream worlds that the extractors use for their various missions. Within this dream world I create, the laws and customs of the country need to be obeyed. Moderation is key. The dream world should be as close to reality as possible so that the mark, the target for the extraction, does not realize he or she is in a dream. When performing an extraction, you need to be as firm and resolute in your actions as possible. You must trust yourself. Once decisions are decided upon, you need to follow them steadfastly so that the marked subconscious does not realize the breach within his or her mind. I love being the architect because for once, I can control the external environment simply by manipulating the mind. I can build things that the laws of physics would never allow. Thoughts and reality are truly linked in the process of creation. The dream is as real as conscious existence because you feel the same experiences in both worlds. The only difference is the power to control them. I think, therefore I am. In a dream, I think, therefore it feels as real as my body. You can't stop a hurricane when you're awake, but in my dream world, I can start one on a whim. You must always rely on your intellect. You never know when you may be in someone else's dream world. You must not allow your senses and emotions to be overcome. Seek the truth within yourself. It is the only way to determine what is real and to lead a life of excellence.
Thank you, Descartes. Next up, we will have the suavest Frenchman, Blaise Pascal.
My name is Blaise Pascal. And the only reason I'm even here today is because there's a wine tasting later tonight in Boston, and I had a few hours to kill. No self-respecting Frenchman would ever degrade himself to be on such a silly American show such as The Bachelor. But since I'm here anyways, I thought I might as well get another trophy to put up in my house. If you do not believe that I am the most beautiful, intelligent, and witty candidate, mainly most beautiful, then you are just deceiving yourselves. You are letting your petite American mind fool itself, thereby stopping you from finding the truth. Although, I cannot blame you for this fault. This is normal. It is within the minds of all humans to be defied by their reason and senses. Although I must admit, I find this phenomenon most commonly on this side of the Atlantic. For example, all the other contestants here around me are sweating in their seats because they care so much about this competition. They use their senses to see the prize in front of them, and then it is their imagination that makes them believe that this is something fantastic. In reality, we are participating in a petty show, of which the winner has long ago been decided. Moi. So let me show you the true path to excellence. Let me teach you how to not be deceived, and let God grace you with His infinite wisdom as you come on this journey with me. Humans have an innate desire for meaning in their lives. They search for things that they believe are important. This is where the deception occurs. Our senses make us believe that such small things as this competition is really much larger in our lives. They believe that winning will make them happy, these contestants. It will make them important. But they are only diverting themselves from the true importance of life, God. He is the one that will lead us to happiness. He is the one that will lead us to meaning. I am sorry. I forget who I am dealing with if I may have gotten too complex. Let me explain to you this way. Not believing in God is much like not having Facebook. Sure, you know some people that choose to live life this way, but you are also completely positive that they are crazy. All I have left to say is that if you do not follow my path to excellence, your lives will be much like the way you Americans make love. Short, ugly, and meaningless. Thank you.
Our stage hands are a crowd favorite. Merci beaucoup, Blaise Pascal. Next up, we'll have Emmanuel Kant. So many of you in this very auditorium have read at least one of my incredible and awe-inspiring works. Most likely, The Grounding of the Metaphysics of Morals. Yes, I know, you are starstruck and dazzled simply by my presence. But please, hold your applause until the end. Now, as interesting, profound, and inspiring my works have been, some people have chosen to dub me boring, sheltered, dull, monotonous, repetitive, too optimistic, too overgeneralized, and even unrealistic. But my view on this so-called life of excellence is different than any of the other philosophers that you guys have read. And due to these outlandish and inaccurate accusations, I have been forced to explain to you how to be excellent. One sec. Hi, I'm Emmanuel Kant, and I hear you guys want to be excellent. Well, I'm going to tell you how. Unlike these other philosophers, my ideas are 100% original and patented by Kant Incorporated. Well, actually, they're patent pending, but they're original nonetheless. First of all, these ideas came to me a priori, meaning they have nothing but natural logic. That's right, natural thinking. It's key, fun, and awesome. That's right, awesome. But if you want to be excellent, you have to be concerned with one thing, one concept, and one idea. And from that, everything grows. Who here knows what I'm talking about? No one? Well, who has heard of the categorical imperative? No one? Well, I'm glad to see you guys have all been actually reading. But you're in luck. The categorical imperative is simple. It's a concept that is developed through maxims. Maxims are courses of actions which explain what you are doing and why you are doing it. You do not always need to be cognizant of these maxims, but they're maxims nonetheless. Only when your maxims have nothing to do with satisfying your desires, and when what you are doing can be applied to everyone as a universal rule, are you behaving based on the categorical imperative. This is different than having your maxims satisfying desire. Then that is what is called a hypothetical imperative, and those are not as good as categorical ones. Simple? Good. Wait, no? Cool. Examples. If you are cold and you put on a coat because you want to be warmer, you're acting upon a hypothetical imperative. But if you don't kill yourself because everyone should preserve one's own life, you're acting upon a categorical imperative. Because everyone should not kill themselves, I guess. Only when acting upon the categorical imperative can you live the life of excellence and be autonomous from desire. Which brings you to my second awesome, life-changing point of excellent awesomeness. If you want to be excellent, you cannot be strapped into that Iron Maiden called desire, can you? Of course not. This is why you must act autonomously from desire. But I do concede, it is not entirely possible to live free from desire. For if you are hungry, you must grab some Wiener Schnitzel and fill your stomach. But in order to be excellent, you must have the ability to separate yourself from desire. And only if you act upon the categorical imperative can you truly be independent. Phase 2 complete. The final step to being excellent is when you combine complete virtue with complete happiness. You want to be happy, don't you? Of course you do. But it is not happiness that brings you to excellence, but duty. Duties are actions of the will. They come from moral concepts. If you can fulfill all of your duties, then you can be happy, virtuous, and achieve the highest good. Thus, the life of excellence. I challenge you, and even you to be excellent. And for only 3 hours of quick and intelligible reading, all of this can be yours. And I guarantee that these ideas actually work and that they're original. So, be moral, logical, and universal, and excellence can be yours. By the way, results may vary.
You guys are doing an excellent job. Thank you, thank you. Last but not least, we will have Karl Marx.
Hey kids, I'm Karl Marx, revolutionary socialist, author of the Communist Manifesto, and 7-time ADAA All-Star. And I'm here to tell you that if you feel like truly expressing yourself, overthrowing capitalism, and reaching the good life in the process, then socialism is the theory for you. Capitalism is a fundamentally dehumanizing structure, and I'm going to liberate you pansies from the pressure of economic need so that you can become fully human. To succeed in dodgeball, you must master the 5 Ds. Dodge, duck, dip, dive, and dodge. Similarly, to succeed in life, you must master your obsession over material things by dodging the modern vices of capitalism. Humans should not be motivated by financial gain or bodily luxury. By enslaving ourselves to these physical properties, we enable created things, such as money, to control us, the creators. In order to achieve happiness, we must release ourselves from our attachment to temporal comforts. Duck! Now, if you want to finally smell the sweet scent of victory and open the door to unconquered territory, you got to recognize the process of labor alienates the worker from himself and others. Not only does he produce a product which belongs to another, but the worker does not possess any freedom to express his creativity. Labor under capitalism does not stimulate workers, it leaves them exhausted. Now, when I wrote that religion is the opiate of the masses, what I was truly trying to say is that religion is about as useful as a poopy-flavored lollipop. Its purpose is to create illusory fantasies for the poor. Religion claims that it is okay to be exploited by capitalism because you will find true happiness in the next life. However, religion does not fix the underlying causes of people's pain and suffering in the here and now. Some people ask me, Karl Marx, isn't religion necessary for mankind to succeed? And to that I respond, is it necessary for me to drink my own urine? No. But I do it anyway, because it's sterile and I like the taste. So Socrates, this highlights why socialism will replace capitalism and lead to the life of excellence. Till next time, this is Karl Marx.
That's right, sweep it off. That's right. You can do it. Yeah, good job, good job. So, Socrates. You missed a spot. You missed a spot. Yeah, get it. Yep, there you go. There you go. Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it. All right, Socrates. So what do you think of our bachelor so far? All right. Well, now that we have heard these philosophers' persuasive notions, now it's time to see how they really feel about one another. What the thinkers don't know is that the confessionals they taped before the show are going to be shown right now for everyone to see their dirty laundry. Enjoy, because I know I will.
Hey, Mark's here. So, you want me to tell you why Ignatius sucks? My pleasure. Now, ladies, no one wants to date a drug addict. Since you were probably catching up on sleep during perspectives, let me remind you from where I draw this witty illusion. Religion is the opiate of the masses. Opiate? Anyway, if this catchy, excellently orchestrated quote just doesn't cut it for you, consider this. Ever wonder why Jesuits are always fundraising? Expensive habits, people. How much are you paying to come here again? Exactly. We want action. We want to make moves, people. Moves toward communism. Pronto. What is this finding God in all things Ignatius keeps talking about all the time? Philosophy, thinking, blah, blah, blah. Enough. It's pretentious. We need historical materialism. That's smart. See, I've got a plan. You can read all about it in this snazzy little bestseller I wrote. I believe it goes by the name of the Communist Manifesto. Anyway, everything happens for a reason, right? That's Ignatius's plan, God's plan. Which is what exactly? No, really, you tell me. No, everything happens because the bourgeoisie suck. Dodge. You gotta be ready for everything, even a revolution. All right, but let's get serious here. Instead of trying to discern the will of God, why not try discerning the will of history? I don't know, No. Don't you worry about it. We'll just toil away here for hours and expect little to no wage. Classic. Saints? Sinners? That almost rhymes with oppression. Classic. Ignatius. No matter what euphemism you slap on, class divisions are all the same. Just remember, man makes religion. Religion does not make man. Think about it.
I find there to be a great deal of substance and truth behind the claims of René Descartes, especially in regards to his notion of God's infiniteness as the ultimate creator of this great universe. Sure, I do admire his devout set of Catholic beliefs while respecting his desire to challenge dogma and blind truths. With this said, however, I cannot fully forgive Descartes. Despite finding your presentation of doubt interesting enough, you neglected to address the reasons behind why God exists, his absolutality in our universe. Well, in all his philosophy, Descartes did his best to dispense with God. He could not avoid prodding God to set the world in motion with a snap of his lordly fingers, after which he had no more use for him. Now, as I mentioned earlier, my model justifying a belief in the Lord uses decision theory to establish that it is more net beneficial to ascribe to a set of beliefs in God, despite the impossibility of determining this existence through reason alone. Now, based on you Americans' abysmal understanding of the art of mathematics, let me explain further. In my prodigious book, Pensée, I outline the rationale behind this theory by first explaining that God is or God is not, and that his existence is infinitely incomprehensible. From here, therefore, a choice to believe in God can result in one of two possible outcomes: that God exists and that the believer will achieve infinite happiness in the afterlife, or that God does not exist and the believer loses nothing. However, a choice against the belief in God poses the threat of an infinitely repulsive afterlife should God indeed exist, and a null impact if God does not. As such, it becomes net beneficial to believe in God, since you can lose nothing by ascribing to a set of beliefs. Now, having established that believing in God is the only sensible path for you humans to undertake, why does Christianity stand up on top of all other religions? The most important argument that I make here is my belief that the right religion must incorporate the incredible paradox of human nature, that we possess a boundless source of greatness and an inordinate sense of wretchedness. Any religion that does not address this issue cannot possibly be the right one. Recall what I said earlier. Christianity addresses this, since it understands that humans are exalted as well as fallen. We were indeed made in God's image and are his greatest creation, but our nature is tarnished due to original sin. And you Descartes, you have forgotten your own wretchedness. A belief in Christianity under the kingdom of our Lord is an all-inclusive commitment, not one to come and go as you suggest. Descartes, to have any chance of winning a compelling argument, you better prove why your God exists and reflect the infinite nature of his role in our universe. At least this is something you Americans got right.
Aristotle tells us that we, as individuals, achieve our ultimate potential in happiness. The happiness comes from conforming to virtue and living in a way that builds good habits. Now, he goes on to tell us how to do this. He tells us what we need to do this and what we need to avoid. But he ignores the most basic question of all. How do we know our reality is real? How can we say what our ultimate potential is when we can barely prove our own existence? We've all had that experience before where we're happy or angry or upset. Then we wake up, and we can never quite explain why we felt so strong about something that didn't matter. Dreams always feel real when we're in them. It's only when we wake up that we realize something was actually strange. Aristotle wants us to live this dream, wants us to live the life of moderation and virtue. But these ideas are full of biases. What to say that your conception of moderation is actually your own and not that of your parents or your friends? What to say that your conception of virtue wasn't the seed of an idea implanted into your mind and left to grow into a complex and nuanced ideology? Aristotle tells us that we need friends, that they help us maintain balanced morals and allow us to develop a love of virtue. But what Aristotle doesn't take into account is that our senses are deceiving. How can we say what a friend is, let alone a virtuous one, when we perceive things like the sun to be the size of a quarter? In fact, what certainty do we have that these people are real and not simply projections of a subconscious dream state designed to reinforce the idea that the good life is a life of virtuous happiness? There isn't any. Wake up, Aristotle.
Oh, I hate my 6 man in 90, especially my direct, Karl Marx. He kept me up all night with all his nagging and all his whining. Augustine this, Augustine that. I mean, come on, Marx, why do we desire? Desire is a figure of our incompleteness. Desire is felt in a constant restlessness. We sense there's more, and we want it. We humans are born into sin, original sin, and we feel this sense of desire our entire life until we are in the hands of God. Our life is spent ascending towards the greater good. We are mortals because of our finiteness, limitation, morality, and imperfections. That is why we have fallen. Since we are born in sin, we are called to overcome it. Faith is fulfillment. It is about letting go and surrendering to oneself. Oh, by the way, Marx, as I was flipping through your book, I stumbled upon an interesting quote. Religion is the sigh of the oppressed creature, the heart of the heartless condition, and the soul of the soulless world, and it's the opium of the masses. I mean, come on, Marx. We're religious because we choose to be. We don't follow religion because we want a better life on earth. We do it because we want eternal salvation. Do you follow me? Anyway, I think this would just be better if I just sang a song. I think you know this one. 7 a.m. waking up in the morning, gotta be fresh, gotta go to church, gotta have my robes, gotta have my Bible, praying to my God, confessing my sins, praying on and on, everybody's sinning, gotta get down to the altar, gotta ride my mule, I feed him hay, saying from the feeling, gotta make my mind up, which pair can I take? It's Sunday, Sunday, gotta get praying on Sunday. Everybody's looking forward to confessing. Sunday, Sunday, everybody praying on Sunday. Everybody's looking forward to confessing, praying and praying and yeah, praying and praying. Yeah. God, 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 looking forward to heaven.
Socrates cannot possibly be considering Machiavelli as his match, while clearly I am the reasonable choice. Now, though I acknowledge Machiavelli's retort and conjectures as well thought out, I am Aristotle. Clearly, I will have a better idea. What he presents is simply barbaric. Now, I know the life of excellence to be something of the interior nature. It is the contemplation and preservation of happiness. You contemplate an ultimate good, and then you reason well, and you are morally virtuous. Now, Machiavelli states that there is nothing in human beings which tends toward the good,
Well, this is ridiculous. I believe that everything we do for the sake of good. All actions are pursued with a proximate end in mind. These proximate ends will contribute to an ultimate end, which is happiness. Now, happiness is something which we need to practice, right? It's habit, which we attain through ascesis, or training of the soul. Now, it is evident that Machiavelli has no experience with ascesis. It is no wonder that he's so terribly confused. But for someone to believe that it's reasonable to pull a man into 4 separate pieces in a public square as being acceptable, I think calls that man's sanity into question. Machiavelli managed to confuse what I believe to be the simplest of concepts, virtue. Now, virtue is something of the interior nature, a strength of the mind and the soul, a state of character, not muscles or manliness. Now, Machiavelli wants us to use reason to get what spiritedness desires, while the opposite holds true. Reason must be higher than passions, for reason to be subordinate is bestial. Now, you young hormonal individuals lose purpose, thinking that attaining power, popularity, or whatever it is that you seek will actually make you happy, and that is the purpose of life. Well, it is no wonder that you are all miserable and unemployed. Machiavelli, I challenge you and the others to find a means between an excess and a deficiency. Find generosity between stinginess and wastefulness. Seek temperance between gluttony and insensibility. But I recognize that you have fallen victim to harmatia and abandoned the path of reason. And so, therefore, Socrates, I implore you to consider this decision carefully. Reason well, and know that I am the proper choice. Thank you.
So I walk into the kitchen, and what do I hear but Augustine and Pascal all like, Mr. Machiavelli's excellence is so stupid. Real sophisticated, you losers. I mean, really, Pascal? Really? My excellence conquers cities. What does your excellence do? Not win. We were on the same page. You think human beings are wretched? Hey, so do I. They're wicked, corrupt, hopeless. But then, for you to live excellently, you were all like religion, virtuosity, faith, living in the present moment. Come on, that's just living a losing life. You see, this is the problem with Pascal. He's got this idealistic, improbable notion that humans have a redeeming quality. Redeeming what? We are awesome winning machines, just winning our way to the top. Some people say it's lonely at the top, but I sure like the view. Humans can think so they can be open to God's grace? Yeah, right. How are all the fools and trolls I see every day living their lives righteously and virtuously according to God's grace? That's what I thought. They're not. All I see is people winning all over the place, killing, crushing, doing whatever they can to stay on top. Pascal needs to quit pretending men can be righteous. By the way, Pascal's wager is for losers. Life's all about winning, passion. You see, the prince can control luck. Huh? What was that? No, he can't. Can't is the cancer of happen. Get with it. The Nike sign doesn't say just try it. It says just do it. The prince doesn't need to bet on whether or not God exists because he can control his future and the vagaries of the human condition. Boom. That's life. Finally, Pascal said something about diversion. The man's constantly worried about living in the present. The man is constantly worried about God, yet he's preaching about living in the present moment. You know who lives in the present moment? The prince lives in the present moment. He has one speed, one gear, go. He gets power. He worries about getting power. The city-state helps him get power. Rhymes with winning, anyone? Yeah, that would be the prince.
St. Ignatius here. Immanuel Kant, how can he be an intellectual match for Socrates? He's the one who said, one must certainly not argue. Members of society must conduct themselves in an entirely passive manner. My experience as founder of the Jesuits, maybe some of you guys have heard of them, is that God wants us to be active, not passive. God wants us to question things, like Socrates. Immanuel Kant says that everybody is unique, and I agree. But his categorical imperative doesn't seem to agree. It talks about things having to be universal. Then what is the importance of each individual? It seems to say that everyone is the same. Another thing that really rattles my robes is that he tries to create this God out of reason and fails to acknowledge God's relationship with each individual. To all of you guys out there, God loves each and every one of you. And no matter what, and I know this, and because of that, I am living the life of excellence. One, which I'm giving up my heart.
I'm giving up my heart to Jesus Christ. And even here on earth, I feel it too. And no matter what I do, I feel His love, with or without sin.
What up, Boston College? How you guys doing today? We go ignite Immanuel Kant's world, flame with spirit and truth tonight. Immanuel, don't misunderstand just what I'm trying to tell you. You've got such a gifted mind, but please don't forget about His love. Let it go. Believe in Him and you'll know. I was shot in my knees. Now I'm praying more and more. Come on, I'm giving up my heart to Jesus Christ. And even here on earth, I feel it too. And no matter what I do, I feel His love, with or without sin. Shout out to Father Ron, to Sally, T-Money, Gentlemen's Club, swag, 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 swag.
Hi, Socrates. Immanuel Kant here for the categorical imperative, the decision-making solution you're gonna love. Imagine, no more wondering about or questioning the morality of your actions, no more hoping and wishing that you're making good choices. With this amazing new product, you'll be living an excellent life from the minute you start using it. With the categorical imperative, just think about what would happen if everybody did what you're about to do. If the world would be a better place, go for it. If not, do something else. Watch me make difficult moral decisions with ease. Imagine you're in an incredibly hard perspectives class and you need an A on your final paper to avoid a C for the semester. Is it wrong to cheat or plagiarize? With the categorical imperative, it's as simple as asking yourself what it would be like if everybody cheated. Socrates, you're already good at asking yourself questions, so this should come naturally. Imagine a world where every student plagiarizes every word of every paper. Professors would doubt that anything you ever said was your own work. This is obviously a problem, so it wouldn't make the world a better place. Therefore, plagiarism is immoral and not excellent. So with my method, you would never do it. Problem solved. Why waste time with Augustine's method of channeling and focusing your desires when it can't guarantee an excellent life? He can't help you decide whether or not to plagiarize. Imagine again that you're in that tough perspectives class. If you focus your desire on getting an A in the class, plagiarism helps you get there, so you might do it. But that's not excellent. Augustine's method lets you be less than excellent, and nobody wants to be less than excellent. Excellence isn't focusing your desires on the right things. Excellence is about doing things that the rest of humanity can emulate. So you need the categorical imperative if you want to be excellent. But wait, there's more. If you choose me at the end of the night tonight, I'll double the offer and include my thoughts on the kingdom of ends with the categorical imperative. That's 2 excellent philosophical ideas, normally priceless, all for simply choosing me as the most excellent. Just think, you'll be able to decide if your actions will be good, which will help you live a life of excellence. You'll know that your actions must be done out of duty for them to have moral value. You'll know that moral actions are backed by good intentions. You'll have the categorical imperative, and all of this will make you an excellent person. All of you just choose me, Immanuel Kant, as your most perfect, most excellent philosophical match.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. Well, Socrates, that definitely gave you a lot of food for thought. Well, now it's time to figure out who our winner is. So, take center stage, please, Socrates. So, Socrates, I must ask, who do you feel has the best idea of the life of excellence?
I cannot choose. I wish more than anything that I could say I knew which was best, but I know nothing for sure.
That has never happened, but I'll let you explain yourself.
Well, look, Aristotle, age has served you well with wisdom. You already have views fairly similar to me. You teach us that a life of excellence is led in a pursuit and preservation of happiness, using concrete reasoning. And, like me, you believe that we've each been given a specific place in society, and we should do our best with it. Now, Augustine, before you had spoken, I had never really thought about confession or such devotion to God, but the care you take to your soul is something I truly admire. You too, Ignatius, shared the concept of devotion to something higher, but demonstrate that it should not be done at the expense of our own well-being. Your trust in the hierarchy of the church is something I find very admirable, but at the same time, it worries me because I know there are maniacs like Machiavelli in the world. Machiavelli, your theories remind me of a man I know by the name of Thrasymachus, which, by the way, isn't exactly a compliment. Anyway, the methods that you promise will give man all the power that he desires deeply concerns me. How can anyone be willing to be so ruthless to others, especially if they're to be the ruler of those very same people? It's thinking like that makes me look to someone like Kant for answers. Well, I would look to him more often if he actually went outside. In any case, his ideas on the categorical imperative and duty explain why man cannot act on inclinations. Because if we all did, the world would simply fall apart. But then again, there's someone like Marx, who thinks that there are times for society's systems to be broken down. While I don't agree that the lower classes should rule society, I can see where he comes from when he says we should fight the alienation of the self. Now, Pascal, you seem to share some of Marx's other views. You want to take man away from material diversions in life and bring him back to what truly matters. I did that one time, and look where that got me. A death sentence and a book deal for my apprentice. And then there's Descartes. Descartes, I cannot express how much I truly appreciate the way you extol and praise reason. That kind of thinking, no pun intended, but totally intended, has and always will lead to the improvement of mankind. Now I know what you're all thinking. Socrates, how can't you choose out of our lives of excellence? I just heard you say that you agree with several of us. Well, now it's my turn to come clean. I never had any intention of choosing any one of you thinkers tonight. You see, it's not about being told how we should live our lives. It's questioning the way we live and whether or not it's the best way that we can possibly live. Someone really, really smart whose name I can't remember, once said, "The unexamined life is not worth living." Whether it's on stage with a group of philosophers like this, or whether it's in a community like this, it's vital that we always question, for no answers can ever be found if we fail to ever raise the question.
Well, that has never happened before, but definitely a learning experience nonetheless. I'd like to ask all my philosophers to join me up here on stage, including stagehands who did an excellent job. I'd like you all to give a round of applause to all our philosophers, especially Socrates. As I said before, my name is Gordon Calendar. I was your MC. Hope you all enjoyed our show. Have a good night and very good luck on finals. Got it.